Hey everybody, this is Joshua.
I'm Caleb.
And we are here for round 2 of this amazing interview with Avi Lipkin. We started yesterday. Sirens went off in Jerusalem. Our bunker was filled with people and we had to stop. But there's invaluable information here for you.
That's right.
Both on the war in Israel and how you can pray and what to believe for. And also so much more about your faith and things that you need to know about the history of it.
And yesterday you were explaining to us, Avi, the origins of basically a coup that you believe, a deep state movement within the Israeli government, this liberal socialist party that's trying to oust Benjamin Netanyahu and this Likud government by allowing, you said, the Hamas to come through and invade Israel. You explained about these generals being part of a socialist party, even in Mossad. Can you give us a quick recap about that from yesterday?
The situation today is, and I'm looking at the camera now, all Christians should pray for Netanyahu, because the whole idea of a coup d'etat is happening right now, and the switch that is bringing about the coup d'etat, the date is Saturday, this last Saturday. And there are a number of people, I watch all the news stations, but there's one gentleman by the name of Yaakov Verdugo on Channel 14, which is right wing. And he said, from all his information, Ehud Barak wants to come back to be the prime minister or dictator or whatever. He's got to get rid of Netanyahu. And he's so fundamental in how he plans things that he knows exactly the date. Before this invasion happened, he knew the date when Netanyahu would be deposed. The date was this last Saturday, was the invasion by Gaza. And so now what's happening is Netanyahu is being blamed for it, but it's not his fault, because if his generals hide from him what's really going on, and the Egyptians did give us the information, you know what? Let's say the Egyptians didn't give us the information. How could they knock down 60 blocks in the wall and bring through 1,000 terrorists into Israel? We think there may even be some tunnels, which we don't know about, which we didn't discover. In other words, we're letting Qatar give them money. We're giving them everything they want because we're under the illusion that they want peace. These are not normal, rational human beings. And if you remember in the joke, which I told in yesterday's segment, what's the difference between psychotic people? These people are psychotic. You can't make a deal. You can't make peace with psychotic people. There will never be a Palestinian state because the Palestinian leadership is psychotic. And Allah is Satan. And all they want is to kill the Jews on Saturday and the Christians on Sunday.
So what you basically just told us is there's a deep state government within the Israeli government working to oust Netanyahu and his party. We know their end goal is to get rid of him. How do they plan on stopping Hamas? Or do they think, okay, finally we give the order, we're in power, we're going to wrangle in the dogs of war that we just unleashed? What's going to happen next? I mean, Hezbollah is joining the fray right now, today.
That doesn't matter. The army generals, who are all socialists, they're going to do, operationally, they're going to do the right thing. Okay. The problem will come after the fighting, in which Netanyahu will be blamed for the failures, when it wasn't his fault. The failures are by the general staff, by all these generals who supposedly know their stuff. They knew what was happening. And, in the Yom Kippur War in 1973, there were people who knew what was happening. Kissinger warned. King Hussein warned. Ashraf Marwan warned. And the Israeli government had this concept that the Egyptians wouldn't dare to attack. And so we had this concept also that Gaza wouldn't dare to attack. Why? Because the generals told Netanyahu they won't dare to attack. So these are the death throes of the socialist left. But we need Christians to pray about this, stand with Netanyahu, because I think Netanyahu is God's man. Yeah. I think that Netanyahu, I'm an American, I believe in term limits. And Netanyahu has been there 13 years, but he's the captain of a ship in a stormy sea. Yeah. And you don't start fooling around changing captains in the stormy sea. And you have to remember, this war that is coming with Hezbollah, and I think it's imminent. Today there was a news flash about missiles coming in from Lebanon, but it seems like it was unconfirmed or something. But the next stage is Iran. Now, why would America want to get involved with terminating Iran? Even though Biden gave them $6 billion, why would? Because they are an appendix to Russia. Russia is being degraded by the Ukraine already a year and a half. And so if you get rid of Iran, bring about a Western government, then if Iran disappears, Hezbollah disappears, this is another nail in the coffin of Putin and Putin's Russia.
So do you see a connection with the Iran, the Russia thing as a forthcoming Ezekiel 38 and 39 Gog and Magog invasion, that's a possibility?
No. I'm writing my 8th book on the Gog and Magog. This would be maybe a Psalm 83.
Psalm 83, okay.
Okay,
Which
Gog and Magog is going to be with Turkey.
Yes, that's right.
Well, what's happening now is Psalm 83.
Yeah, Psalm 83 connection.
Turkey is going to come a little later because Turkey wants to reconquer or reacquire Cyprus. Cyprus has oil and gas now, together with the Israelis. And the pipeline is going to Greece. And from there to Italy. And the Turks don't like it. The Turks want it for themselves. So Israel now has an alliance with Cyprus and Greece and Italy and Europe to outmaneuver the Russian gas embargo and oil embargo. Israel is becoming an economic power that is going to stand with Cyprus. We have very good relations with Cyprus now, and we're helping to lift Cyprus. Cyprus had a very strong economic problem until recently. We love Cyprus. Half of Israel right now is in Cyprus. Actually, they're coming home now because of the war. But
so I've always seen Psalm 83 war as a prerequisite to Gog and Magog, because
correct.
Here's the nations that immediately surround Israel. Israel defeats them, allowing way for the nations around the Psalm 83 nations, which is Turkey, Russia, Iran, to come in and fill that void to invade Israel. So you said this could be the prerequisite, what's going on right now, to Psalm 83. We need more nations to ally to make that full coalition, but we're already seeing a few of those nations join in.
The Turks want to join the European Union. So many Westerners say, well, why don't you just let them in? I mean, Turkey is in Asia and in Europe, and they should be part of the European Union, and there's so many Turks living in Europe and everything. Do the numbers. You have 300 million non-Muslims and 50 million Muslims in the European Union. So you think, okay, 50 million as opposed to 300 million, not a big deal. But what's the problem? The problem is that Turkey is 70 million. Okay, so then if Turkey joins, it's 70 million plus 50 million is 120 million. Still, that's not the problem. The problem is that you've got 6 Islamic republics. They broke away from the former Soviet Union, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Tajikistan. That's 200 million Turks. And if they go to Turkey, Turkey gives them a Turkish passport, which means all these people could theoretically move to the European Union. So we're not talking about 50 million. We're not talking about 120 million. We're talking about 320 million Muslims moving to Europe, and then it'll be 300 million non-Muslims. I don't want to say Christians, because a lot of Europeans are not Christians anymore.
That's true.
They're pagans or neo-pagans. So you got 300 million non-Muslims versus 320 million Turks and Muslims.
The current war we're having right now
with Gaza,
Hamas. Do you have a prediction on the timeline of how far this goes to accomplish that coup they're attempting, or if they will?
Well, firstly, timeline for the war is something, and the coup is something. The coup could take place at any time. The problem is, if there is a coup in such an outrageous manner as doing it now, the majority of the population is right-wing and religious. There'll be a civil war. Nobody wants a civil war, except for Ehud Barak. Ehud Barak, over the last 9 months, has been saying there's going to be blood in the streets of Israel. He is pushing for people to die in the streets of Israel. And that's why, how many died because of the Gaza invasion? 900?
900 now.
Oh, that's nothing. For Ehud Barak, it's nothing, because these socialists are used to spilling the blood of their people. And who died? People from kibbutzim, liberals. You didn't see any people with a yarmulke on their head. I mean, we mourn for them. They're Jewish. They're our people. This is the worst day in Jewish history since the Holocaust. How many people were killed by these Gaza barbarians. And we're not going to stop until they are pulverized. And so how much time will that take? Theoretically, if Lebanon does not come in, it could be done in another week or two. And they said this is not a 1 day or 2 day thing. This could be a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. If Hezbollah comes in, we've got to shift. Instead of 20-80, it's going to be 80-20 in the percentage of the military. The whole army has to be shifted over to the north. So, but we're not going to let Gaza get away with it. And if Hezbollah attacks us, they have 150,000 missiles. By then, the aircraft carrier Gerald Ford will be in position with their planes and with their ships. So America will help us, but the point I'm saying is in the end, if America helps us with Gaza, with Turkey, with Iran, then America will come to the Israeli government and say, okay, enough Netanyahu, let's bring in the people we want. Still not good.
Well, Avi, thank you for this insight. This was amazing. You are the expert on these matters, and people know and trust you, and your words are almost prophetic. You know, you say it and then it comes to pass, and we're seeing that happen today. But thank you very much for your time.
Pleasure.